भाई और क्या मेरे ब्लॉग्स देख रहे हो। आज मैं घूमने जा रही हूँ, गौरू, मासी, पापा और मैं और मम्मा। तो आज मैं अभी रेडी हो रही हूँ, अभी बाल बना रही हूँ मैं। अब हम बाल बना रहे। अब मैं रेडी हो गई, ये मेरा हेयरस्टाइल है।
हेयर्स चलो चलते हैं।
चलते बाहर आ गए और संजी आ रही है, वैसे बहुत सही है। लुक आउट,
पानी पानी हट।
So much snow and the sun.
अब हम बैठ गए बस में और अब चलिए बस। See you there. ये वाली और मोटरसाइकिल वाली बस में जोड़हल धीरे भी आता है और बियॉन्ड में भी आता है। अब हम दूसरी बस में बैठ गई। चेंज कर दिया। अब हमने होके तू से चेंज कर लिया बस। व्लॉग बना रहे हो? अब हमने होके तू से चेंज कर लिया बस। मासी हमने फोन को तो देखो।
हमेशा से
सही दिखा रहा है। हाँ
अब वो वाली डब्ल्यू वाली निकल गए थे। और बढ़ाइए देखा। अब उतरना हमको मम्मा, कब उतरना हमको? ये वाला ग्रीन बस अच्छा है। हम उतर गए बस से और हम फेरी में जा रहे हैं आइलैंड फेरी से।
बिलो आपके सन ग्लासेस।
किला हाँ आगे से बहुत आगे से अभी तो आधा किलोमीटर और है। मैं ले आता हूँ, चढ़ाई आ रही है।
गौरू की फर्स्ट फेरी।
वाओ कितना फन है ना।
ये धीरे धीरे चला रही है।
आपको लग रहा है फास्ट जाती है जैसे वो पॉ पेट्रोल में जाती है।
वाली तो
चलो फिर पॉइंट होते हैं कोई तो के पास में बैठ के खाते हैं।
हम जा रहे हैं वो वहाँ अंदर है।
क्रूज लाइन का तो शिप है वो ही है। कलर लाइन का सॉरी कलर लाइन का ही है। बंकर
अब हम म्यूजियम की तरफ जाना है और अभी होटल का बिल्डिंग आएगा और ये है होटल का बिल्डिंग और अब हम और आगे जा रहे हैं आगे और आगे और आगे और आगे। ये आगे हमारा नॉर्वे फ्लैग और उसमें उत्तर रेड वाइट और ब्लू और डार्क ब्लू कलर और हम जा रहे हैं म्यूजियम 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 की तरफ। पा 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 पा।
मेरे साथी बहुत पीछे रह गए हैं। वो देखो आ रहे हैं दूर से। कैन यू सी देम? हेलमेट वाला फ्रूट। सी इस फ्रूट के पास हेलमेट है। इट्स अ हेलमेट वाला फ्रूट। ये आ गए मेरे साथी।
Oh my god. Wow.
जय श्री राम।
मुझे तो ऐसा लगे मुझे ये चाहिए। ओपनिंग करना कुछ ठीक है? आपने लोग ओपन कर दिया ना? ये देखो कीज है। ये भी और है।
You would row the boat out to the enemy, fire the gun, and hastily row back again. For 40 years. When King Oscar I was crowned in 1844, he wished to make our two countries equal by introducing a union mark on both the Swedish and the Norwegian flags. This mark was loathed by many Norwegians, and it was often colloquially known as the herring salad. After many years of unions, first under Denmark, then under Sweden, we had a strong desire for independence and a strong desire for our own Norwegian flag. The true fight for a purely Norwegian flag flared up in the 1870s. It was led by the renowned and opinionated author Bjørnstjerne Bjørnson. The Norwegian Parliament decided to implement the Norwegian flag without a union mark in 1893. But King Oscar II was strongly opposed to this. He succeeded his father for the throne in 1892 and would twice use his veto rights as he refused to approve the measure. But then, in 1898, the law was finally enacted on the third try. On the 11th of December that year, the Norwegian flag we know today could be raised for the first time. We were still in a union with Sweden at the time. Norway and Sweden functioned as two independent countries, but we shared a king and all foreign policy was decided in Sweden. In Norway, we didn't like this. We wanted a free and independent country. Winning the flag struggle was an important victory for the Norwegian Parliament in the fight for independence. Final 7. The Norwegian flag in red, white and blue was designed by a parliamentary representative named Frederick. During the difficult union negotiations in Karlstad in the fall of 1905, the fortresses at Oscarsborg and Svelvik were fully mobilised. A so-called tethered balloon division, also known as Ballon Captif, was transferred from Fredrikstad Fortress to Oscarsborg. Their operations continued here until World War I in 1914. World War I lasted for 4 years. Throughout this period, the guns at Oscarsborg were operated with a small crew. Their purpose was to protect neutrality. In the 1920s, politicians in Norway began to scale back and reorganize our defences. A number of guns at Oscarsborg were to be kept only in reserve. Defences in the outer Oslo fjord were cautiously developed.
The fortress prepared for battle. At 3:58, the commander decides that shots must be fired. The darkness and the fog made it impossible to see the vessels until 4:15 from Crane Vessel 2. Then, at 4:17 from Koppås, and a short while later from the command centre at the main battery at Oscarsborg, where the distance is estimated to be 1,800 metres. Colonel Eriksson corrects this figure to 1,400 metres. Both shots are direct hits. The first shot hits the bottom of the command tower on Blucher, sending sections of it crashing down into the water. The second hit is on the aircraft hangar in front of the aft mast. It explodes inside the hangar and ignites airplane fuel. Blucher is now burning midship. The Koppås battery and Husvikvangen explodes as the craft lists over its port side. The crew and soldiers are now ordered to abandon ship. Blucher lists further and turns upside down, floating keel up, and finally sinks bow first. The time is now 6:22 on April 9th, 1940. A powerful explosion ignites the oil. Many of the survivors now in the cold water die in flames. The ships behind Blucher, the cruisers Lutzow and Emden, the torpedo boat Møller, and 2 minesweepers reverse course and exit the field. The Central Bank of Norway's gold reserves were transported to safety.
On the Lutzow witnessed the powerful explosions. He thought the vessel had struck mines. He took this to mean that forcing their advance on Oscarsborg Fortress would be impossible. Therefore, he turned the Lutzow around in the narrow strait and reversed course. The captains of the other 3 ships followed his example. And sure enough, the first planes could be spotted at Oscarsborg as early as 7 o'clock, although these were headed further to land troops there. Oscarsborg started 1 hour later and would end up lasting 10 hours. The soldiers and the families residing on the island were instructed to take shelter in the tunnels and magazines of the main fortress. Airstrikes were intense. Witnesses could count up to 42 planes passing over the fortress at once. Over the course of the day, roughly 500 bombs weighing 50 to 200 kilograms each were dropped over Oscarsborg. Telephone communications were cut at 9 o'clock that morning, making it difficult to relay orders. Several buildings were burned down or destroyed. The main battery was buried in sand and dust, but it remained intact. The anti-air battery had essentially fired its 40mm guns at the German planes, and Troyer and fired by cold machine guns to little effect. Around 1 o'clock, the Lutzow settled in 14,000 metres, south of Tofte at Huvudmanland, and fired at the fortress with 350-kilogram highly explosive grenades. Each blast shook the islands like an earthquake. Damage still did not end up being too severe at Oscarsborg, but along with the air raids, the strain on the people there was enormous. By morning, Lutzow had landed ground forces at Solm and Moss. They captured train stations and transported many troops to Oslo. During the day, Colonel Eriksson was informed of this, and the King Håkon, along with the leading representatives of the Parliament and government, had fled to safety. 3 morning runs, Eriksson went around the fortress to keep track of the situation. When he got out to the docks after inspecting the torpedo battery at around 6:15 p.m, Koppås was also captured by the Germans, which the crew reported to Eriksson using the signal lamp. They also reported that the enemy wanted. After some quick thinking, Anderson and Solem set out in a boat as negotiators. They brought with them the full authority to negotiate with the enemy. All contact with the outside world had at this point been broken. The crew at Oscarsborg was exhausted, the damages were enormous, and the minefield in the Drøbak Straits had not been laid. the negotiations ended and a temporary ceasefire was made until the following day. Early in the morning on the 10th of April, Colonel Eriksson himself went to negotiate with the Nazis, and negotiations concluded with the fortress being surrendered to them on the same day at 9 o'clock. Colonel Eriksson was unable to keep the Norwegian officers on the Drøbak side from being captured as prisoners of war, but sergeants and privates were sent home on Saturday, the 13th of April. Immediately after the surrender of the fortress, the remaining German vessels passed Oscarsborg and reached Oslo at 11:15, around 30 hours later than planned. Eriksson was awarded the War Cross with Sword on the 16th of November 1945 for exemplary efforts at Oscarsborg Fortress in battle with invading German warships on the 9th of April 1940.
Nazis greatly appreciated good music. We can imagine that they had a rich social life with good food and drink, perhaps also women visiting, dances, and visits from superiors, renowned German officers. Authentic cigars and cigarettes from the war era. Perhaps not all the soldiers were legally forced into the service of this evil regime due to their military involvement. We do not know. We choose to believe that some of those who were Oscarsborg during these 5 years longed to return and they perhaps themselves of their actions in war and could explore their feelings such as through painting.
Hva hører du når du går inni her? Gå inni her.
Her?
Ja. Hører du sånn? Hva hører du?
Nå hører jeg. Hva er det?
Det er noe i lyden.
Det er vann.
Ja.
Skal jeg prøve en gang til?
Ja. Vær så god. Gå videre.
Det her rakett. Det her rakett.
Ja.
Ikke missil.
बुलेट इतना बिग मिसाइल है ये
मम्मा एक बार और देखें
अभी देखते हैं जो ग्रेनाइट सी ये ग्रेनाइट तन्विशा
Enemy ahead! Attack!
I got one more time. Oh, there's still more. Isn't it? अब हम बोट में बैठेंगे
अरे क्या गिर गया? क्या गिर गया? क्या गिर गया? इस लड़की का कैसे मैचिंग है? वही गिरा होगा। I know, sweetie. I know, sweetie.
Herkese düşerse ne olur?
Station is Björvika.
Norwegian में बोलो.
Next station at Björvika. Nå kommer vi hjem nesten, og hvis dere liker, skriv det ned i kommen, og hvis dere liker, bare skriv da. Hvis dere ikke liker, da ikke skriv. Ok? Og der kommer bussen. Der var det ski og vann, og vi kan først og svimme. Og nå går vi hjem. Denne Center Station. Og av hundene er det babade, baby sjokolade.
लग गया ना?
नहीं है
पहले से था?
क्या?
ये देखो.
अब हम बस से आ गए. अब बस चलना है. Ha det. Vi ses i annen vlogg.